Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, Imam Zaid min Jamiat Zaytuna. Ismi Asma Ana Muslima Laysa Ladia Bait. My community, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so I stand before you today not to speak on behalf of Islam. Allah and His Messenger does not need my validation or to say that they are right. Not to speak as a scholar. I do not consider myself a scholar, though I am educated by those who are. Not to speak on behalf of the Muslim community. I don't have the right or the authority to do that as well. Not to speak for the professionals or the counselors, because I actually feel that they have misunderstanding or misrepresentation of poverty in some instances in the community. I come before you today to speak on behalf of homeless Muslim women and children in the Muslim community. I possess a master's degree, guess you heard. I once had my own home and every modern convenience known to man. Despite all of that, I am homeless, living in Muslimat Al-Nisa Home Center, a shelter which I established exclusively for Muslim women. I feel qualified to speak on their behalf of this population within our Muslim community. I'm not a vagrant, nor are any of the other sisters in the home. As you sit in the comfort of your home, know this: it is very easy to become homeless. Many erroneously equate homelessness with laziness, with someone who just doesn't care or who's not trying. What about a Muslim female professional who worked for 20 years in a particular company, and then just as she was almost nearing retirement, that business decides to downsize, which is actually a ploy which they use in order to deny the rights of the retirement benefits of those who actually have worked there. Now all of a sudden, this woman is too educated, all right, and too old to be rehired by anyone else. She can't get a job. What about a Muslim woman and her children, where they were sitting in their comfort and the house next door had faulty wiring, that house caught on fire, the wind blew over to their house, and now they're without a home. They're homeless. What about a Muslim sister who converts to Islam, who was working, and the people at her job say, not so that they can be sued, but they say, lose the hijab or lose your job? What about those rendered homeless as a result of natural disasters, such as Katrina? As I said, it's very easy to become homeless. Yet we as a Muslim community expend more time and energy protesting the lies being spoken about Islam and our beloved Prophet, while failing to correct the truths observed by others. Truths such as those which instigate and fuel the so-called Islamophobia, and which negatively impact the quality of life for Muslim women. Truths such as most Muslim men don't beat their wives, but some do. Where does that sister go? Truths such as Muslim women who become homeless are forced into shelters ran by those who are not Muslim. Where do you think they get the statistics from? We told them by sending the Muslim sisters who are homeless into those shelters. Individuals who require a certain type of religious behaviors where Muslim women have to subordinate They're deemed for food and a place to stay, because within those shelters, they require you, most of them, to also subscribe to their religious teachings. So if you want to eat, you have to believe, you have to react, you have to respond in the way in which they deem is correct. And so, where now these providers become the friends and protectors of the Muslim women. Truths such as Muslim women who become homeless are forced to humiliate themselves at the mercy of the public assistance social service agencies. Agencies which ask, where is your community? Why are they not here helping you? Where are your men? Why are they not helping you? Why are you here? Agencies that require of these Muslim women that in order to qualify for their help, Muslim women have to either say they don't know where their husbands are, or they don't know who the father of their baby is, resulting in Muslim women being labeled as the holy whores. I try to understand why it is that we would believe that the government welfare system is better able to provide for Muslim women than our own zakat system. Islam was sent as a mercy to mankind, not to add to its burdens. Why do we send our Muslim sisters to get welfare? The truth is that Muslim women and children are homeless in America. Yet more money is sent out of the country to provide for those living outside of the United States than to provide for homeless Muslim women in America. Who's sending money to help them back into the country? Who's giving money for the homeless Muslim women and children in America? If it be true that paradise lies at the feet of the mothers, why is she homeless? Beloved community, you do not understand the dynamics of being homeless. What do you mean when you say that you want to come and visit the shelter? What does that mean? I want to come and visit the shelter, you say to me. Seems like a noble statement, but what is the purpose? You come to observe the sister in her state of homelessness? You want to sit in her presence and make her feel guilty, make her feel more humiliated? The sister said to me, because a lot of this I didn't understand as well, they said, well, Asma, when individuals come and say they want to come and see us, said it makes us feel like animals in a zoo that you come and visit and you throw food at them. It doesn't help. It doesn't make them feel better. If you're not coming with a solution, yes, we know, don't be a part of the problem. They don't want your pity. And then we have individuals who say they want to bring toys for the children for Eid. Again, this sounds like something that would be a wonderful gesture. It's Eid, we want the children to be happy, we want to give them a gift. Well, something that we need to know as a community is that children don't know that they're homeless. They don't have that stigma in their minds that we may possess about homeless. All they know is that they're in a different environment, a different house with their mother, and other people are around. That's what they know. So this gift that you have so much value you want to attach to, they're going to play with it like any other child. 5 minutes, throw it to the side. They want to do something with the box. That's what they do. They don't care about the toy in the same manner that you do. And so I would go to the community and I would say, don't spend money on the Eid toys. I said, this is a home environment. What I would like for you to do is donate that money to build a playground in the back of the house, which would be there for all of the children to come. The children can come, they can go outside and play, get fresh air, be like all the other children. Right? They don't have to sit in the house frightened, confined, because they have nowhere to go. Because maybe the mother can't get them to the playground. Or maybe they're a victim of domestic violence and they're afraid to go outside. So let's build a playground. I've been asking this for 5 years. And the major responses is what people say is they'll say, Asma, well, no, we want to wrap up the gifts. We want to be able to give it to the children. We want to see their faces light up when they receive the gift. And then I say to them, well, then that gift was for you. It wasn't for the child at all. You were wanting something in return because they're not going to value it the way that you do. And so, as you give those things that you think, your donations, your discards are valuable, in the house, we try to make sense of our bags. This broken item, I don't even know what the purpose would be for it anymore. It doesn't have a cord, but you donated it to the shelter, and you thought that you had given us a wonderful gift. We eat the cans of food that you bring, even though we have a working kitchen. Canned food has no nutritional value. I don't even know where that concept came from of giving canned food to someone who's living in a house. Do you eat canned food? And so you go into your cabinets and you find those cans of food that you bought that you don't want anymore because you actually forgot what the recipe was that you was going to use artichokes for, and you donate it to the shelter. Thank you. We eat the expired food that you purchase in your cabinet, and when you wanted to give something, you say, well, I don't want it anymore. Let me give it to the sisters in the shelter. So we eat the food that you give us. We wear the clothes that you donate to us because you thought that it was okay, because if nothing else, we don't have anything. So whatever you give was better than the nothingness that we had before. This is what you believe. These are from donations that came to the shelter. And in order to receive your help, you force us to display the signs of humiliation. You make us beg. You make us beg for your help. These are the signs of humiliation. This is a sign that was made by one of the children in the shelter because they wanted some fresh fruits, and we didn't have the money to be able to go and get it. And two of the children went and they took the signs and went to the corner because that's what they've seen people do in order to get money. You make us beg because this is how you see us. This is the picture of belittlement. And if you think, our beloved community, if you think this little of us, imagine how little we think of ourselves. So we accept the image we think we deserve based on the way in which we are treated. You call and you ask, Asma, I want to come and feed the sisters. And then I say, they feed themselves. What did you think was happening? It is a home. You ask to bring your children to come and see the sisters and visit with them. And I asked them why. Why do you want to bring children into the environment to visit the sisters? And they said, so that my child can learn the lesson of what it, to be able to appreciate what they have. So basically, you want to barter the sister's dignity to teach your child a lesson. I don't think so. And when I attend events and I have a table there, it's another form of begging, and I want you to help. And I'll have a box and say, please, please, we need donations, because we can't do this alone. You hurry past the table and you try not to catch my eye because you're afraid that self-accusing spirit will say to you, how you walk past that table? And so you do go past to buy yet another hijab, yet another kufi. Meanwhile, we go hungry and we worry about having a roof over our heads because it's what we do. We make 70 excuses for you. We love you. We are a part of the Muslim community. We want you to remember that so are we. A criticism that I receive is that we have a shelter exclusively for Muslim women, because they say, well, Asma, no, you should, have everyone there. Muslims, Christians, it doesn't matter. Jewish individuals, I understand. It's not, to have a shelter exclusively for Muslim women, it's not against anyone else. It's just catering to the special needs that Muslim women have. It's not against anyone else. And Dr. Ingrid Madison actually said something too once. She said that whenever people are making decisions, right, that's this imperative that you call everyone who it involves to the table. Well, when we as a community sit down and make a decisions about what type of shelter it should be, who should be there, what should be done, did you ask the homeless women? Did you confer with them? Or is it in our minds, this is what needs to be done? And you made that decision because you're going to go home to your house. And they say, well, Asma, a shelter with other people, it's a good form of dawah. I beg to differ, community. A shelter is not a venue for dawah. You have masjids, Islamic centers, events like this. A shelter is not a venue for dawah. The sisters are already going through so many issues, so many problems. And now you want to attach dawah on that. The problem is that you're not going to be the one that has to stay there. And then when you put people in an environment where you say that they can't discriminate against who comes there, think about it. You're sending your most vulnerable population into an environment with individuals who have possibly many different unsavory backgrounds, but you put the Muslim women there. And we look at it as if it's okay, And I tell people, I have non-Muslim relatives. I don't want to live with them. You think I would really want to live with people who are strangers, who I don't know anything about their background? I looked at one of the shelters where they have, Muslims and non-Muslims, and it says that they cannot discriminate on the basis of religion, sexual preference, criminal history. They name all these things. And I said, based on what they said, that in that shelter, they could actually have a child molesting devil worshiper. But we want to put the Muslim women there, and we think that is safe because you don't have to be the one to close your eyes at night and go to sleep and worry about what's actually going to occur as a result. And when I'm asked, because this is the most difficult task to be able to go and beg in the community for something which Allah and His Messenger has already said is the right of the poor and the homeless. When they ask, Asma, why do you continue to do this? And I say, because I don't know if on the day of judgment, Allah will say to me, Asma, one of my servants came to you and asked you for help, and you turned her away. I fear that, and so I will continue. And so, my beloved community, in response to the question, where are the homeless Muslim women? The answer is, she prays beside you. The problem is that you're looking for this. An oft-repeated quote by Dr. Sherman Jackson speaks of Muslims and our attempt to carve out a dignified existence in America. As Muslims, we must identify these cognitive frames which handicap the Islamic perspective of sadaqah and establish a new paradigm by which we approach homelessness and poverty in the community. Uncloak your minds from the stereotypical images you possess and give us back our dignity. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Ya Imam Zayd min Jamiat Zaytuna. Ismi Asma Ana Muslima Laysa Ladiya Bait. My community, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, or who's not trying. What about a Muslim female professional who worked for 20 years in a particular company, and then just as she was almost nearing retirement, that business decides to downsize, which is actually a ploy which they use in order to deny the rights of the retirement benefits of those who actually have worked there. Now, all of a sudden, this woman is too educated, all right, and too old to be rehired by anyone else. They have misunderstanding or misrepresentation of poverty in some instances in the community. I come before you today to speak on behalf of homeless Muslim women and children in the Muslim community. I possess a master's degree, I guess you heard. I once had my own home and every modern convenience known to man. Despite all of that, I am homeless, living in Muslimat Al-Nisa Home Center, a shelter which I established exclusively for Muslim women. I feel qualified to speak on their behalf of this population within our Muslim community. I'm not a vagrant, nor are any of the other sisters in the home. As you sit in the comfort of your home, know this: it is very easy to become homeless. Many erroneously equate homelessness with laziness, with someone who just doesn't care. And so I stand before you today not to speak on behalf of Islam. Allah and His Messenger does not need my validation or to say that they are right. Not to speak as a scholar. I do not consider myself a scholar, though I am educated by those who are. Not to speak on behalf of the Muslim community. I don't have the right or the authority to do that as well. Not to speak for the professionals or the counselors, because I actually feel that